But okay, you're 20. I
He
say
want
that.
me to give up the charger, y'all. Y'all know that's hard. That's hard to do. I don't pay insurance.
You don't pay insurance. What do you mean? You don't have insurance?
I don't get in accidents. So you said the stock market?
Yeah, the stock market. It depends on what you invest. Again, there are companies.
You wanna know my problem is with the stock market?
What is it?
I don't know
What to invest in? Well, I'm telling you.
I need a Martha Stewart. I need a little insider. Y'all better listen. He gonna give y'all some juice.
Welcome to Finance Action. My name is Romain, and together we'll dive into someone's personal finances, learning from their stories and taking action for the financial future. Follow me along as we discover the story of KB.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Y'all already know it's your boy KB at Leave It to the Streets. Y'all see I'm here, so y'all know it's a vibe. It's always lit and it's always interesting.
Sweet. Let's look at your profile. So, KB, you are 20 years old. You are originally from Chicago and currently live in LA, and you work as an entrepreneur as well as in security. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Looking at the way you've ranked your personal finances from chilling to Mayday, you've rated yourself as surviving.
Yes, sir.
So
I'm a survivor.
Walk me a little bit through your story, please.
So, especially being a upcoming actor and an upcoming comedian, it's kind of hard for most people, especially coming from my ethnicity, which is African American, as most of y'all can tell. But I mean, it's not easy, especially when you come from a rough background and people prejudge you before they meet you and they get to know you.
How has that been actually? Can you explain a little bit more on that front?
Just like you get put in uncomfortable environments, and it's just like you gotta be comfortable with being uncomfortable, especially in a position where you want to make money and you want to be successful, especially coming from where you gotta survive and you gotta kind of blend in and you don't want to kind of be too noticed.
Okay, B2, it's interesting. Yeah. So speaking about your background, how did you even learn about finance?
Finance side of stuff is not always been as nice as it seems. So I done been in positions where I ain't have no finance. I ain't have a savings. I ain't have a checking. I ain't have credit cards. I ain't have anything. I ain't have a car. I ain't had nothing. So just kind of learning how to save money and learning how to kind of survive day to day and make sure that just in case something happened to me, I'm okay. I don't make a certain amount of money for a year, or I might be hospitalized. And ain't no telling what could happen. Worst case scenario. Just being able to kind of have a parachute. And most people, they don't understand that when it comes to finances. You need a parachute because you don't know what could happen.
That's right. Emergency fund, as always, guys, this is priority number one for when you want to build a financial future. So let's first start with your income, KB. So you work, and you mentioned you work as an entrepreneur and in security. How much does that brings you per year on average, you would say?
About 50K.
Yeah, no, that's great. 50K, that's going to be pre-tax. So post-tax, that brings you to about 2,900, let's say 3,000 net per month. How does that sound?
That's about right.
Are you expecting any additional incomes outside of the current jobs that you hold, or?
Just trying to make smarter investments and kind of get into the side of investing. So just putting my money into stuff that I know can bring me more money.
Okay. Oh, that's good. I mean, and in this video, we're going to use the case and the story of our friend KB, how to best set yourself up for your financial future, especially in a good position that you've put yourself in.
Y'all better tap in. Y'all better listen. He gonna give y'all some juice.
Sweet. Okay, so let's then think about your assets. Thank you for providing us with some of your statements here. I see that your checking account has a balance of $30, but you don't really use this that much, right?
No, I don't use the bank. I ain't gonna lie. The people, y'all know them people just they be watching.
Okay, though you have another checking account with $5,000 on it.
Yeah.
And you also have another saving account with $5,000.
That's the rainy day fund. In case something go wrong.
That's nice. That's smart. Okay, sweet. So that brings your total amount in bank right now of about $10,000 more or less. Awesome. Okay, cool. Let's look at your car. Do you drive a car?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you drive?
When I'm at the crib, I drive my Charger, which is a 2013 Charger.
Okay. Do you own any money on it?
No.
Okay. How many miles does it has?
I just got an oil change, 216, 217.
Looking at the Kelly Blue Book for it, you have pretty much a value on private party resale about $7,000.
Dang, hold on. Who want a charger? Y'all need a car? Anybody want to buy a car? Let me know. I got you.
Cool. So that currently brings your total amount of money or your total assets to $17,000.
So I'm worth $17,000.
Meaning that if you had to sell everything that you own, you would have $17,000 in cash. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Do you, are you expecting to receive any money from anyone? Do people owe you money or no?
I mean, yeah, people owe me money.
Okay. So how much money would you say they owe you?
About $2,000.
$2,000? Okay. So pretty much a $19,000. Assets. Okay, awesome. I like this. I mean, right now you've positioned yourself fairly well in terms of your mindset around putting money on the side for emergencies.
Yeah.
That is actually a very smart move that we encourage people in. But you don't yet have any investment accounts, right?
Nah.
Okay. Are you interested in any type of investments?
Yeah, I need the sauce. Any of y'all that invest in the $1 million corporations that's turning dollars into 50,000, I need that. I need that in my life every day.
We all do. Okay. So as we think briefly about one of your short-term goal here for coming to the show, what is one of your short-term goal?
I wanna own an ice cream truck.
Okay. That's interesting. Tell me more about that. Like, what was the thought process?
Ever since I was not young, but since I was about a teenager, I used to always see the ice cream truck come through, especially being in low poverty neighborhoods. They always come through in the summertime. I remember being like 9, 10 years old, not having no money to buy ice cream. Like we used to lie to the ice cream man, tell him it was our birthday just so we can get free ice cream. I want to be that for kids, especially kids that don't have a lot, and kind of just show them that it's more to life than just going to college and stuff like that. So you can be productive outside of going to school and getting a degree.
That's fair. And I mean, you're proving yourself already with some of your strong savings.
I come from I ain't gonna say a perfect background, but I have a educated parent, my mother. She's very educated when it comes to just saving and just kind of putting money away and understanding that you don't know what can happen. So you don't know how life might turn, because life has its ups and its downs. Sometimes you down, and when you down, you really down. So just understanding that you can go from something to nothing, and you can go from nothing to something. So when at a young age, she kind of taught me like, all right, look, you got to learn how to save, because what you gonna be able to buy if you live and check to check, you can't do nothing. You can't go out and kick it with your friends. You can't catch a flight and go on a vacation. You can't do nothing. Some people really like, I done seen people day to day actually living like, well, I know I get paid this Friday, so hopefully I don't have to. Hopefully my landlord let us pay our rent late, or hopefully the light bill I can pay this late, and just kind of living in bad circumstances by not understanding how to save money.
Yeah, it's very true, and you're saying the right things here. So let's move on then to your expenses and debt. One of the major needs that we look into is your housing. How much you pay for a house, man?
$400.
$400 a month? Okay. You also pay for some utilities?
The way this last winter was, we're gonna put an extra like $2, $3.
2, 3. Okay, wow. Okay. Cool. So that brings your housing expense against your income to about 24%. Okay?
Okay.
We like it to be less than 28%. So in your case, you're doing great on that front.
Okay.
Moving on to the next need that we need to identify together is going to be transportation. In that case, your car. Now, what's good with you is you own your car, so you don't have any car payment on it, no car debt. Awesome. How much you spend on gas, though?
$120.
$120 a week?
Yeah.
Mate, you are traveling quite a bit for your security job. Okay, cool. And insurance, how much is your insurance?
I don't pay insurance.
You don't pay insurance? Mm-mm. What do you mean? You don't have insurance?
I don't get in accidents, so.
So for our subscribers and for our listeners at home, no matter what, please take insurance. And I'm going to run you very quickly through my story, mate. A couple years ago, I was going at night to soccer, okay? And I get hit when going through a green light. Someone hits me, T-bone me at 50 miles an hour, okay? I got into coma for 3 days. My hospital bill was $168,000, okay?
My heart.
If I didn't have insurance, my life would have been ruined.
But you didn't cause the accident.
I didn't cause the accident, but the person that caused the accident was on drugs and didn't have insurance. So what happened is, well, I can't sue them because, I mean, that person had absolutely no asset, nothing that I could help recoup my money on. And my insurance, because I had protection, so if you have a car, please match your bodily injury insurance to your underinsured. That was one of the biggest mistakes I've done because my bodily injury was at $100,000, $300,000. My underinsured was only at the state minimum. And that's how they get you sometimes in insurance because they want you to take the bodily damage, which generally is if you are the one causing the insurance, you protect the other person.
Yeah.
But if you are the one that get hit by the insurance and the other person is not covered, which is what happened to me.
So like full coverage and liability.
That's right. Full coverage liability on top. But you need that underinsured, uninsured insurance.
He telling y'all something, y'all better be listening. I'm learning something new too.
Yeah. No, it's very, like, it's legit because it can completely flip your life even if it's not your fault. If I didn't have that coverage, I had at the time good, decent health insurance that helped back that up.
Yeah.
Ruined. That's it. I was 22 years old with $168,000 worth of medical expense. What do you want me to do from there? So please make sure, no matter what, that you reserve an allocation in your needs for insurance. Trust me, today, you're lucky nothing arises. We hit wood. You're going to thank us. And you're going to be in a position where, yes, it's going to be hurtful, not even the financial cost of the incident, but also everything that comes in, if there is medical complications and so on. You don't want to have a huge bill that drops on you in addition to all of that. It flips life, and it has flipped the life of many people that I've spoken to. So make sure you get that insurance, KB, okay?
I got you. Y'all heard. So when I get my insurance, that means everybody else better get y'all insurance too. Because if y'all hit me and I'm insured and you still ain't insured, I'm going to be mad.
All right. So for that purpose, mate, I'm going to record about $100. Actually, let's make it more realistic since you're young. And generally, insurance, when you're young, tend to be... Oh, $400 for you? Have you been coded?
I got a red Charger.
Yeah, right. But $400, have you been in previous accidents? Oh, I see. Okay. Well,
I'm not responsible for my accidents,
right.
But I have been in previous accidents, yes.
Okay. So let's just put something that's, average. Let's put $250 for you because you're high risk. Know that it's normal for young adults to have a premium on insurance when they start driving because you are at a higher risk. However, make sure that you make your research and look at different insurances. Don't go with the first one straight away. And this way you don't, you are able to apply like a competitive research and make sure that you get a decent deal on it. But please don't cheap out on this. Do not cheap out on your insurance. I promise you. It's probably one of the worst mistakes, especially in the United States, because you have no backup. You're on your own. Cool. So that brings, KB, your total expense. Right now, I'm including that insurance at $250 that I really recommend you take, to about 25% of your income. That's because you own a car. We like it to be at 15, so you're very high on it, probably because of the amount of gas that you're using on this. If you want to save money at some point and you want to consider that, maybe look for an option that's a little bit more...
what car option?
MPG friendly, like more fuel efficient. But okay, you're 20. I
he
say
want
that.
me to give up the Charger, y'all. Y'all know that's hard. That's hard to do.
So I won't ask you because you already own your car. You have decent assets, so you're doing good on that front. But gas for you is one of your biggest expense. So just consider it. Not in the short term.
You
but just
ain't
consider
lying,
it.
though, bro. That is like one of my biggest expenses. Like,
and we can see that. Moving on, as part of your needs, the way I want you to think of again is survival mode. Okay. So how much will it take for you to survive on food per month? I mean, I'm seeing a little bit of expenses here as we go through your
About
statements, but it's not outrageous.
It's 4 weeks in a month, probably about $400.
$400, and that's what we like to think as an average. Okay.
You ain't gotta eat TV dinners and ramen noodles.
Yeah, and what is good about UKB is I'm not seeing much expenses on like DoorDash or any of that services, Uber Eats and so on. That's good. You're being mindful of that. This, while it's good to have it maybe anecdotally, like sparsely here and there, maybe once a month or so.
People don't take the time to kind of learn how to do certain stuff, and they just would rather kind of take the easy way out, which is DoorDash and Uber Eating. And all you gotta do, if you want a buffalo chicken sandwich, go to the store, get you a pound of chicken breast, skinless, boneless, a bottle of Frank's hot sauce, and just make it at the crib. That's all you gotta do. It's gonna save you so much money.
So just so you know, KB is launching his new food network.
I'm telling y'all, see, KB's Kitchen. You see, I'm on to something new. See, that's a new investment right there. Y'all might as well come invest.
But jokes apart, I'm not to say that, when I say don't invest on food outside and so on, I'm not criticizing like the Uber drivers or the DoorDash drivers, because this is an important stream of income for them. But not when you're trying to build a life or you're running thin. If you're running on cruise and you're making, tens of thousands of dollars a year, then I say, okay, go for it. But just be mindful of that expense. That's what I'm saying. You're not doing it. I like that. We can move on, okay? Looking at the rest of your expenses here as I work, I see some expenses around pet care, and we've accounted all of that in your needs. Overall, right now, as we think together about your needs, you are summing up to about $2,000 a month. But that's because also I'm including your rent, your transportation, your gas, and the $250 on the insurance that you're not paying right now, but that I want you to pay. So it might be a little bit higher.
You see how he said he want me to pay the $250?
Yes, you will thank me later.
See, I'm gonna do it though eventually.
There you go. So that brings you to 68% of your income. We like the needs to be below 50%. Okay. I need your needs to be below $1,500 a month.
1,500.
Yeah. 1,500. Somehow, you need to figure it out. But that's your needs. Remember, that is your needs. This if something hits and you're stuck and you can't work, this is the minimum you need to live on. There is no entertainment. There is no restaurants. None of that stuff. It's basic food, basic transportation, basic housing, and like taking care of your pets.
What's 1,500 divided by 4?
1,500 divided by 4, it's about 380.
That's a week.
380.
Dang.
Just a little bit less.
I'm going to try that.
Okay, cool. So then the next expense that we look into is your wants. So for your wants, for the most part, as I look into some of your statements, and let me tell you, KB here, this gentleman right here, 20 years old, has stacked up $19,000 of assets and has 0 debt.
Y'all heard him. I ain't got no debt. I don't owe nobody.
That's good. I like that. But you're spending a fortune, my friend, on travel. What the heck is going on with your travel? I mean, just like recently, $500 on Alaska, $400.
But that's just because I'm back and forth. So, like you said, I be in Chicago a little bit. I be in L.A. Shout out to Indy, because I be in Indy. I be a little bit of everywhere. I mean, see, I'm here right now. I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just believe in kind of moving, just not moving around, but kind of just living, just like experiencing new things.
Okay.
I don't want to look back 5-10 years from now and regret how I didn't enjoy my 20s.
That's fair. That's fair. So for that reason, I'm going to provide you an allowance of $300 a month on your wants. $300 a month on your wants. Okay?
$300?
$300 a month.
That's a week. Hold on. That's
a week, you have to think is about 75.
That's $75 a week.
How does that sound? So let me ask you this.
Whoa.
You have a couple rights to build your future.
Yeah.
You have to think about
$75 a week?
A week.
Is that included? Like, so my wants isn't gas and stuff
No.
like that. That's
Your
just
wants
like,
is things that you do not need but that you like to have. It's going to be include your hobbies. Let's say you play some sports. It's going to include maybe you want to
gym memberships.
gym membership. I identify that in your needs.
Okay.
Okay, this is a fine line. Okay, it's a fine line. It really depends. If you have a $200 gym membership per month, well, drop that to go to Planet Fitness for $10 a month. Okay,
Yeah, that's
this
fair.
is what I call in my category. I call that personal care. Okay,
That's fair.
so what does that bring us? Okay, that brings us to your gold category, which is the most important portion of your budget, KB, which is at this time around $650.
That's my budget for a month.
That is the budget that I want you to save every single month on the side at minimum.
What, $600?
$650.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah?
Yeah,
That's cool. However, what I want you to go towards is a target of $1,000 a month. I want you at 20 years old, if you can, in the position that you have, to save $1,000 a month.
Okay.
How does that fit? How does
That sounds good.
Okay, that's good. Good, KB. I think we should move forward on that front. So, KB, you're 20 years old, but I want to bring a sentiment home about investment and why do I think this gold category is so important.
Break it down.
And that brings us, my friend, to the next segment on our show, the money case. And we are back for the money case as we discuss investments with our friend, KB, and I want to bring again that sentiment home.
Let's do it.
So, KB, here in this briefcase,
Hold on, y'all.
I want to discuss with you at 20 years old the strengths that you have, which is time. And sorry for people that have been following our show for quite some time. Time is probably in investment one of the most important components, even more than the initial amount that you contribute towards. Let's think about together your cards that you have today, okay? You have $19,000 worth of assets and a saving account of $5,000.
Okay.
Let's say that today you put that money on a brokerage account, which is an investment account. There are multiple partners from, to call Robinhood, Charles Schwab, so many other different Fidelity and so on that can allow you to invest into the markets. You're investing into companies. Generally, in this example, I would like for you to invest in what we call the S&P 500. So you're going to invest a certain amount of money and buy a share. And when they're earning reports and quarterly reports, and the fluctuation of that $100 changes daily, okay? So in your case, if let's say we were to look at the $5,000 that you have saved on your saving account, and today you put it and invest it on the S&P 500, this money per year is going to return you on average about 10%. If you leave that money for 10 years, you just put it, you drop it, you never touch it for the next 10 years. This money, by the time you open your account again, in 10 years, the amount that you will see is $12,000.
Okay. Yeah.
That is 10 years. That's a beginning, okay?
Hold on. Wait. Time out.
So you've invested $5,000
And turning into 12?
and you're turning it into 12 in 10 years without touching anything. You just put that money and let it go.
But that's a long time to just let $5,000 just
Okay.
sit there.
Let me tell you next. Okay. Follow me along. This is 10 years. 20 years. So by the time, KB, you're 40 years old, this money is going to be worth $36,000.
He bringing out more money, y'all. More money equal more problems.
Here I don't have the exact amount. Just so you know at home, all of this money is prop money. So please be mindful of all that. I wish I had that much on cash. So this is at 40 years old.
Yeah.
Again, you forget about this amount and you let it go. Okay.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, but you have not touched. You've just forgotten about this money today at 20 years old. Wait for it. You open this at 50 years old. The amount of money on it is no longer $30,000. Are you ready for this, man?
It's 60,000.
$87,000.
Okay.
Again, you have not touched that money. You just today you put it on your account. You don't open it.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready for the jackpot? By the time you retire,
So he want me to hold off, y'all. He don't want me to retire early.
you don't touch that money until you're 60 years old.
Okay.
The amount of money that you're going to have on that account that you open is going to be $225,000.
Ah, bingo!
$225,000 is the amount of money that you would have on your account if today you put that $5,000 and you don't touch it until you retire.
Can it be more than that 200?
So that is what fluctuation in the market means. Right now, I'm using the historical value for the past decades.
Okay.
That returns about 10%.
Okay.
Depending on how you play on the market, you can either increase that. Generally it's a little bit more risky. Any position that has greater return is going to come with greater risk. Here, those are some of the fairly safe positions because you're just following the market, and on average, the market has always been growing.
Oh, so that's low risk.
That's medium risk. You're just following the general market. There are lower risks that you can take, but your return is going to be lower.
If I take a risk, it could be more than that.
Yes.
Or less than that, though.
Exactly.
Okay, now y'all know.
$220,000 for today. You put that $5,000 you never open, and then at 60 years old you open your account and you see 200 grand from a decision you've made at 20 years old.
Damn,
it's not bad.
That's 40 years.
That's 40 years, but who cares? It's money that never existed. You just think of it as it never exists.
Totally.
But we'll see. Maybe there are other options. Here, I just want to show you the importance of time and compound interest. Okay.
S&P 500.
Assuming a 10% return. Let's move on. Be very mindful at home, especially here for some of our younger audience that may be convinced by all of the TikTok BS and all that crap that comes online where they tell you, oh, this coin is going to shoot to the moon and so on.
Oh, you talking about the Bitcoin and the
so those are established cryptocurrencies. Me, I'm speaking about shit coins. Okay,
shit coins.
I'm not going to put any names,
He
but
said shit.
it's called shit coins. It's literally shit coins. It's coins that it's a pump and dump. Okay, and how does the system works is you have everybody, let's go guys, let's pump that coin to the moon, to Mars, all the BS that they want to tell you. They bring it up. Okay, everybody brings it up. If you exit at the right time, there is a chance that you make money. But then what's going on? It's a roller coaster. It goes as fast down as it went up. And then what happens? You have a pool of people at the bottom that then are holding what we call holding the bag.
So somebody's left with the shit.
Left with the shit because they bought it at
That's the
100
worst.
and now it's worth 10. And who else is going to go back into it?
So me and you could start shit coins though right now.
Yeah, you can start shit coins, but you need a huge follower and so on. It doesn't work. It's like scamming people. You're scamming people.
Y'all bogus. Why y'all out here scamming people with shit coins?
It's true. But please be very mindful. Stay on large structures, on established companies. Don't go for the quick scheme. It's very tough to make money in and out. Trust with experience. I've taken risks that were stupid in the market, okay?
Did you win some, lose some?
Yeah, I lost more than I won, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Because you never know when is the top of the market, when is the right time to sell. You just don't know that.
Yeah, because you ain't got a...
You got a crystal ball.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody would follow you, huh? So just be mindful of all the influencing and all that BS. I'm going to keep it real. I want to make sure that people don't get screwed, don't get broke. The stock market, for the most part, if you invested wisely, has an okay amount of risk and a good amount of return, as we discussed together.
You said the stock market?
Yeah, the stock market. It depends on what you invest. Again, there are, shit companies.
You want to know my problem is with the stock market?
What is it?
I don't know
what to invest in. Well, I'm telling you.
I need a Martha Stewart. I need a little insider.
Picking stocks on the stock market takes time, takes risk, and takes research. 95% of the population does not take the right time or just, makes a bet out of their guts, out of what they think is going on, or being influenced by people that probably don't know as much as them, okay? I'm not here a financial advisor. I'm just expressing my opinion. So I want to be mindful of that, okay? If you do not take the right amount of time and you just follow a trend, you may become a bag holder, kind of a guy at the bottom that is holding the bag of everybody that make profit at the top.
Dang.
If you want to be passive, go for large ETF, mutual funds, indexes. Those are some of the components, as I mentioned previously. The S&P 500, which is the standard, for example, is as basic as it comes. Yeah. And you just invest and you don't look at that money and you follow the market at all time.
That 5,000 I'm sitting in there for 40 years.
Yeah.
Am I supposed to watch and make the sales myself?
You invest today, you don't touch it, you close the account. You reopen it in 40 years. That's as simple as it comes.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to move on to my recommendation section. No financial advice. This is what I would do if I was in your spot. Those are components that I think are crucial. Number one, Finance 101. Emergency fund, as you mentioned, exactly as it is. If shit hits the fan, you need to have cash to cover it and you don't sink. In that case, what we like to think is 3 to 6 months of needs. In your case, your needs have been estimated at around $2,000. So I want you at minimum at all time for the next couple of years, assuming your needs change, to have $6,000 on an account that you do not touch no matter what.
Damn,
No matter
okay.
what.
Okay, I can do that.
Now, this is the bonus. If you're at home, follow me. Inflation hurts you. What is inflation, KB? Inflation is the increase in the cost of living per year.
Oh, so when the states so when rent go up and property tax go up.
So that's a little bit different. Inflation is going to be the increase in housing, the increase in food, the increase. I mean, eggs have been going to the roof, for example.
Yeah, everything. It's an inflation right now.
This is what we call inflation. And what that means is right now inflation is about 6% a year.
Yeah.
So what cost $1,000 last year cost today $1,060 for the exact same thing. And inflation is always going to happen. How do you fight inflation? What I want you to do, KB, is to put that $5,000 or the $6,000 that we discussed together into a high yield saving account.
High yield
saving account.
That's what my bank be talking about. Where they turn like they turn whatever you put in, and they raise it each year by like 5.8%.
Yeah, so that's a lot. Actually, what your bank probably provides you is what they call saving account, which, you know, for some of the top banks, it's peanuts. It's peanuts. It's 0.05%, whatever the rate is, it's nothing. Okay,
Yeah,
how do you fight that? You invest in what I mentioned, a high-yield saving account, which is going to provide you right now. We are in a very good period to invest into it.
Okay.
About 4 to 4.5%, depending on the one you have. We have some ideas to present ultimately as we continue our due diligence on our side, but that's what I want you to invest into. Okay. So this is going to allow you to fight inflation. Number 2, I want you to think about how you can best invest that money that you have right now on the side as well, the extra income.
Okay.
So either, if you want to play it smart, try to put some towards your retirement. Okay, this is what we call an IRA or a Roth IRA.
Okay.
This is money that you're going to put aside. My personal preference is to put in Roth IRA. The maximum per year that you can put is about $6,000 on the side. Maybe right now, the earlier you start, the better it is, okay? I still want you to have some liquidity to go towards your short-term goal of the ice truck and so on. But just consider it and make it part of your mindset that you want to put money at some point to retirement.
I got you.
Okay, put that 5K on the highest saving account. Don't touch it. Try to raise it to an extra 1,000. You put it aside. You don't look at it. It's going to allow you to be safe and allow you to take risks because you have an emergency fund. The extra 5K, I want you to get into that ice cream truck if you think there is potential for it.
Yeah, it's always money in an ice cream truck.
Okay, but the problem is that it requires time. Is it going to be you who is going to sell the ice cream?
It depends. But it can be more than just me because it just gives opportunities for other people too.
I love that. Okay. The next thing I want to do is save a little bit of money every month. Right now, the 1,000. Put it in 3 months. You buy yourself a nice strip truck. You can start that business if it's something that you want to do. Okay. The rest of what I advise, keep $1,000 every month aside. Keep it and consider about opening a brokerage account where you invest little by little into the S&P 500, and this is how you set yourself good for your future already. What do you think?
That's good. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Do you have any final words or anything that you want to share? As you know, your story was just very interesting. And
first of all, I want to give a big shout out to all my crewmates, my boy Tro, my boy Mar, my boy JQ. Ain't no Leave It to the Streets without y'all. Make sure y'all check us out at Leave It to the Streets. And also, y'all, just for the youth and just for the next generation, y'all need to understand that y'all can go through anything and still kind of make a difference with y'all lives. I done seen some of the worst situations happen to some of the worst people, including myself, and just know that no matter what, as long as you got you're gonna be okay.
Love that, man. Again, thank you very much for following us along as we discover the story of KB. We invite, if you like that content, to like, subscribe, and comment as well.
He obviously is teaching y'all something different. I had to come through here myself personally just to get a nice little grasp, and I'm trying to change my life.
Let's do it. And we hope you're changing yours and at least giving you some good advice and recommendation on how to take care of that. Have a wonderful rest of your day or evening if you're watching that later, and we see you next time. À bientôt.